so hungry. You know, I have this terrible habit of forgetting to eat in the evening. Though, to be fair, my stomach was not feeling too well yesterday. Let's see. I'm going to have that apple pie for breakfast. I don't care if it's supposed to be dessert. I'm still gonna have it for breakfast anyway. Too bad Rumarn isn't here to share it with. And I'm still a little bit hungry. So I'm thinking I should probably get some protein. And some water to wash it down. Oh. A little bit more water. Oh, I think I might have eaten too much. Oh well. I can't say that it really matters that much, but I'm just going to be wandering around town. Alright, let's change into something more comfortable before we go out into the city again. I don't really want to wear a dress today, but I could go ahead and wear this again. And I'll carry my loot along with me. Alright. I have a couple of things to do this morning. First things first, I'm gonna go down and visit the temple district. I have deliveries to make to the priestess of Kinnereth and to the priest of Arkay. You know, I wonder, this Heimskr fellow, was he actually properly trained as a priest, or did he just take it upon himself to become a preacher of Talos? He seems to be more political than religious, to be honest. More anti-Elven than pro-Talos. Though these days it's hard to tell the difference. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my hood again. Won't do to get too damp. Garm! Garm, you came back! I thought you decided to just go with Rumarin. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh, that's a good puppy. Good puppy dog. I hadn't realized how much I've come to depend on your company. It's really good to see you again. I hope that you'll decide to keep traveling with me. Though, it seems I can't really say that you're my dog. You seem to be your own. Or perhaps you're Arkay's dog, come to think of it. You do seem to spend an awful lot of time here, and you're very comfortable in temples. Better behaved than any other dog I've known in that sort of situation. Good morning.
Since Whiterun serves as the divide between the Imperials and the Stormcloaks, the war brings many suitable specimens to study. This pleases me.
You know, you seem to be the only one this pleases. I mean, I suppose there are plenty of Nords who all have the whole warrior spirit thing going on and see this as a chance for glory, but I don't think anyone likes to see all these dead piling up from the war. Anders, you're the one that I was hoping to talk to today. I have something for you.
You and me, we're the only people around who aren't complete fools.
Well, don't count me as not a complete fool too quickly. But, I was in Riften, and I spoke with the priest of Archay there, the priestess. She asked me to bring her dagger to you.
She finally decided to return it to her father. Bless her heart. I will make sure this finds its way to his tomb as soon as possible. Thank you for bringing it, my child. The blessing of Archay be upon you.
Thank you. It was my honor to bring that dagger here. Speaking of the blessing of Archay, I'd like to go over and pray at the shrine for a moment while I'm here. Though, I was wondering if I could have a quick chat with you first.
Yes?
So you said, I believe, that you're researching corpses? Why is it that you focus on corpses as opposed to healing the wounded? As a priestess of Kinnereth, I believe you said.
I never implied my work was solely on the dead. I used to experiment on small animals. I'd make cuts in multiple locations and attempt to heal only one of the incisions.
Gods!
If the spell succeeded, I would compare the result to a traditional healing spell, as well as the amount of magicka required to cast it. But this presented a new dilemma. Trapping wild animals isn't as easy as opening a coffin.
I can imagine it would be difficult for a priestess to trap wild game. You're probably not used to that.
There's also the matter of the screaming.
Oh, I did not need to
Animals
hear
can be
that.
quite obnoxious when cut or burned. It's as if they don't understand the concept of research.
That's because they don't. Well, research. Sounds like good old-fashioned animal torture.
I didn't take pleasure from the experiments, nor do I take any joy from hurting myself. But I feel I'm too close to stop now.
Well, I suppose it's admirable that you volunteer your own body in the interest of all people.
It is a small sacrifice. I can hardly call it one. If you wish to see real sacrifice, talk to John Battleborn.
What do you mean?
That man aims to give up his family for love. Now there's an impressive subject.
So, what is it exactly that a corpse can tell you that you don't already know from healing people and from your experiments on living subjects?
Plenty. You just have to ask the right questions. Sorry, that's an old necromancer joke. I couldn't resist.
That's less funny than the alchemy jokes I've heard.
I need test subjects for my restoration research. The dead tell me how certain ailments work.
Well, couldn't that be studied by working with living, wounded specimens?
Unfortunately, unlike exterior damage, it's difficult to pinpoint injuries and disease that happen within. You have to dissect the body and look for patterns. Then you compare the results with healthy bodies that died from more obvious wounds.
So has your research borne any fruit?
Currently, I'm deducing the nature of poison. It seems that regardless of the substance, the body has a threshold which cannot be surpassed. This can vary depending on the substance. For instance, the toxicity of nightshade is far higher than that of jasbay grapes.
Naturally.
A jasbay grape, on the other hand, can leave you susceptible to destruction magic. All things when consumed in enough quantity can kill.
That sounds like a reasonable deduction. I mean, I'm pretty sure that too much alcohol can kill. Though, well, I suppose even water too, if you breathe it in instead of drinking it. So that does sound reasonable.
It is. There's a story, in fact, of a man who drank from a fountain that was rumored to restore youth. An elderly man, he consumed water from dawn until dusk, until his stomach bloated like a gourd. The sun hadn't set when the man collapsed and died. It turns out he succumbed to water poisoning.
Water
For
poisoning?
him, water was the source of all death.
Oh, wait. So, water can not only drown, but it can poison?
Similarly, as poison is in the dose, mortality is bound to time. A simple cut, if allowed to fester, can be fatal. While some areas are more tolerant than others, preventing death is simply a matter of restoring a wound within that set window. That's why efficiency is crucial in the field. Many deaths happen because there's simply not enough time to find a healer.
I can believe that. Are there any consequences, though, to the type of research that you do?
There's 3 types of research. The first is done purely for knowledge. The college mages fall into this category. The second is driven by agenda, the most common of which are money and war. Mostly money, but war's a close second. The third is altruistic, or more specifically, in service to the gods.
And what type of research would you classify yourself as? One of the latter two, I would guess.
My research follows no banner. It serves the will of the gods and the protection of all those who worship them. If my research is used for war, then I'm not to blame, even if I'm partly responsible. I trust that people are inherently good, because if mortals are corrupt, then it makes a little difference what one person does.
Is your research really necessary, though? I mean, spells and potions seem to heal, if not all ailments, then most.
True. Both healing spells and potions restore the body as a whole. But most of this energy seems wasted in the process.
Well, how can magic energy be better conserved, then?
By concentrating its effects at a specific area rather than the body as a whole. For a master of restoration, sure, the point is moot. Even a grand healing spell is but a portion of their magicka reserve. But for a novice mage or spell sword, the amount saved on magicka potions alone could be substantial.
I suppose that makes sense. Though I wonder if your research may be more appreciated in Elven lands than it would be appreciated here.
I have no doubt it would, but I don't like support. And Skyrim has no shortage of test subjects.
Unfortunately. Well, this has been a very interesting conversation, but I think I'd like to go ahead and get the blessing of RK before I leave.
All right, then.
I'm not sure what I think of her. I mean, it seems like her efforts are noble, but at the same time, her means leave something to be desired. Alright, Garm. I'm so glad that you're back with me. Come on, let's get going. Back into the rain. You know, I was really hoping for a little bit of sunshine when I came back here, but I suppose that's too much to ask for. I can barely even tell what time it is. I think it's the afternoon by now, but it's still a little hard to tell. You know, I do need to make a trip to visit the Temple of Kinnereth, but I think I really ought to head to Dragon's Reach before I do too much else today. After all, Garm, the Jarl really ought to know about what happened when I met with the Greybeards. And I'd like to know if there's been any more dragon trouble since I left. This really is quite an impressive place. Ah. Lydia. You know, I think I really ought to make some sort of peace offering to her. We didn't really get off on the right foot. And Alda. I hope you're doing well this morning.
Make it quick.
Oh, I didn't want to bother you, just saying hello.
About time.
Yes, yes. And, Hrongar, was it?
All this standing around is rubbish. We should be taking the fight to the Stormcloaks.
I take it he's an Imperial supporter. And how are you, Preventus?
Divines bless you. May the ground you walk quake as you pass.
Thank you. So, you know, I was a little bit curious. Why is it that the keep is called Dragon's Reach anyway?
That is an old tale, but well known to those of us who serve in the keep. Long ago, there lived a mighty hero of the Nords, Olaf One-Eye.
Oh, right.
Olaf did battle with a fearsome dragon named Numenex. The struggle between Olaf and the dragon culminated in a mighty duel atop Mount Anthor, with Olaf the victor. Olaf returned in triumph to Whiterun. By his decree, the city's keep was rebuilt as a prison for Numenex. And so, from that time until this, our great keep has been called Dragon's Reach.
I forgot, I know that story already, but I don't know, sometimes it's strange attaching the story to a real place that I've actually stepped foot in. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing that could happen in a real place. Well, maybe you could tell me something more about the city's history then.
Ah, splendid. Our fine city has a proud history, and I'm happy to share what I know. The history of Whiterun begins with Jorrvaskr, the Hall of the Companions. For a long time, it was the only building on the mountain. As time passed, a thriving community sprang up around Jorrvaskr, as was common with mead halls. Today, Whiterun is the jewel of Skyrim. I can say without boast that it is the greatest city in all the holds.
You know, from the cities that I've seen so far, I can't say I disagree. Well, it was nice speaking with you, Preventus.
Enjoy your visit to Dragon's Reach.
Thank you, I certainly enjoyed the history lesson. Ah. Hello, Jarl Balgruuf. It's good to see you again, and doing well.
May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
Thank you. So, how are you doing? How are you protecting Whiterun from the dragons at this point?
With good planning and constant vigilance. Even now, my court wizard, Farengar, continues his research into ways we might drive back these terrors.
I hope that's going well.
We must also have ample reserves of water to combat the fires that will surely spread after an attack. But our greatest weapon? Courage. For if we cannot kill the beast, we must at least have the tenacity to drive it back. Until brave heroes step forward to destroy these monsters, that is the best we can do.
Yes, well, speaking of brave heroes, or... well, I can't really say that, but I, answered the summons of the Greybeards. I made the pilgrimage of the 7,000 steps, and they welcomed me into High Hrothgar. Though they didn't really have much specific to tell me. They gave me a little bit of training, but they didn't really have an answer as to why I might have been given this power. I'll let you know if I learn anything new, though.
Now, if you don't mind, I've got a city to keep.
Of course, of course. Aeroleth, how are things going for you?
It seems our enemies have no end of spies, saboteurs, and assassins to send against us.
Paranoid as usual. Good to see.
I've got my eyes on you.
Of course. Well. Hello, Lydia. I hope you're doing well. Alright, let's get out of here. Well... No, I don't really have anything to say to Farengar today. Maybe I'll speak with him if I come back up here before I leave. You know, I really do need to take care of this whole Gildergreen problem and return, what is it, Nettlebane? That knife to Danica, but I think it might be good to run a few errands first. In fact, I think I'm gonna visit Adrian. And before I do that, I'd better go and grab some of my pelts and some of the ore that I salvaged. I left all that on Vera. Really, I came back here hoping for some rest and some sunshine. Oh, look! The guards are back. Where were you all last night? It was rather unnervingly empty out here when I arrived. Hello there.
Mahulak. He wants to be a leader, but spends too much time moping over women. Bolar and I should be all he needs.
I have no idea who you're talking about. Good day to you. That was strange. Alright, Bera. Let's see. Some pelts. You know, I still don't want to sell these dragon bones and scales to Bellathor. I just don't like the idea of it. I could sell the Horker tusks, though. That won't raise any suspicions. Let's see, some pelts, some iron. The leather I already have. And more pelts. And that is going to make the journey back up to the city itself really annoying, because I don't think I can carry that much without it slowing me down. Oh well. Well, if I'm going to be slowed down, I may as well take the opportunity to grab some of these alchemy ingredients. And this extra armor I have would be good to sell. Alright. Time to lug all of this back up to Dragon's Reach. Ugh. You know, I don't suppose we can rig up some sort of backpack for you to wear, could we? No, I think you might be a little bit too smart for that. You'd never let me get away with it.